Hello everyone, it's wonderful to see all of you here at our excellent class number 7. Today we're going to be going over the article Who's Got the Monkey, which all of you read over the past week as part of your homework assignment. So to start off, would anybody be willing to give a brief summary of the article? Yes, Donald?
So basically the article is about how a manager takes problems from his employees and then they become his problems and he has too many problems. And then the rest of the article is about how he can get rid of those problems and keep the monkey away from him.
Yeah, I think that's a great summary. I just want to add 2 main concepts to that. The first is the author goes over 3 different types of time that a manager has. It's got boss-imposed time, system-imposed time, and self-imposed time. So, in the broadest sense, this article is talking about how to reduce self-imposed time. And one of those components is time that your employees give to you with their own projects. So basically, this article is focusing on delegation. And there's also the idea of the 5 levels of initiative. Does anybody remember what those 5 levels of initiative were? Yes, Chad?
I'm referencing the notes that I took while reading, and I see that the 5 things were wait until told, ask what to do, recommend, then take action, act, but ask for advice, and then act on own, then report.
Yes, that's perfect. Those are some excellent notes, Chad. So, why that's important is the authors recommend that part of the manager's job is to make sure that only the top 3 levels of initiative are used. The bottom levels of the initiative, it should be made clear that those are unacceptable within the workforce. Now there is a final part to this. There is a critique by Stephen Covey which talks about how this is really great advice, but in his perspective, this advice isn't completely practical because it doesn't give any advice on how to make sure that your employees are both motivated and have the skills in order to complete the projects that you assign to them. So overall, this article is taking a look at how mid-level managers are supposed to be leading their employees. But how do you guys think that this could be applied to the college experience? Yes, Alethea?
I think a lot of it will probably relate to how we work in groups, whether that's in group projects that we have to do for classes, or I know in a lot of organizations there's different, committee chairs, and then, they have to work with the committees. I think that's when a lot of these issues or scenarios would come into play.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. That was some great insight right there. I mean, looking around the room, how many of us have had an opportunity where we were a member of a group and we felt like an unfair amount of work was put onto us? So what the authors of this article are recommending is that we have the skills to make sure that this work is to be continued to delegate to the right people so that you aren't overburdened with tasks that aren't yours. So finally, some things I want to go over are just a couple of professional responsibility takeaways as it relates to this article. Do you guys have any thoughts on what some of those might be and what your personal takeaways were from this? Yes, Alethea?
I think it's really important to kind of be responsible for your work and not just just because you think something's hard or think that, your manager should be doing more work than you, you just, throw the problem on them. You need to realize that what your role is and what the task you were assigned to do, because it's okay to ask for help, but it's not okay to just put the burden on someone else.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, all of us are going to be entering the corporate workforce in the next couple of years, and something that we have to keep in mind as a low-level employee is that we can't always just rely on our manager to get things done. Ultimately, a lot of what we're assigned is ultimately our responsibility to get that done. One final thought is that professional responsibility doesn't always necessarily involve working more. Sometimes it involves working smarter instead of working harder. So thanks guys for your participation. I really appreciated it. And we'll be moving on now to our next activity.